channel for another video. Today we're going to go over the NASDAQ and do a weekly preparation for the upcoming trading week. So let's just get right into it. So, slight disclaimer, I know that I personally only trade the NASDAQ, but I really think that there's a lot of value in showing you guys how to repeatedly and consistently prepare for the upcoming trading week and show you guys the actual routine that I have, and hopefully you guys can be inspired to take some things from my routine and copy the routine, or just take ideas and inspiration from it. So I just want to show you guys these type of steps and seeing what you can do to improve your own trading. So let's just jump right into it and start doing the steps that I normally do. At least these are the bare minimum steps that I do to prepare for the week. So starting with step number 1, reflecting and review last week. So I did do a previous trade breakdown or weekly trading breakdown. I've done previous trades that I posted on Friday. You can go check that video out. So just reflecting and reviewing on last week. It was a pretty good week. I was 7 for 9 for the week. It was really solid because I've been refining how I trade, and that was the first week of me fully refining how I'm trading currently. And it was a lot more moves than I thought it would be. It gave me a lot of opportunities, and mind you, it was Monday was President's Day, so it was a federal holiday, and it still gave a lot of setup. So I didn't take as many steps as I could have took. So I could have probably been like 16 for 18, or maybe even 18 for 20 in the week, which is really insane. It's a lot of trades. I wouldn't really like taking that many, but maybe it would have been like 15 for 18. It was something really high like that, but I was satisfied with taking 9 trades in the week. I think somewhere between 8 to 12 trades is a good amount of trades in a week, so I'm satisfied with what I took. And it was a good win percentage, so 77 win percent, so I was fine with that. So it was a good week. I would say the one caveat is reviewing. I did try to trade Asian session last week, and it was an interesting experience. I did take 2 successful trades, and I marked up 2 successful trades I didn't take, but they did go through. So this week I'm definitely going to look into that a little more, and I'll discuss that in a further point. So yeah, good week last week, trying to carry the momentum into this week. I've already reviewed my trades earlier. Again, just did a quick skim through them. So I did review those and look at those trades again. And that goes into step number 2. I did back test and fine tune those trades this week. So looking at the ones that I looked at, I liked how I did or executed a lot of my trades last week. I think I did good on doing things like going for smaller ranges in my take profit ranges, in my risk reward ranges, and setting smaller stop losses. And I think I did good on not over trading. And of course, my risk management was really good last week, as well as just how I handled my emotions and just didn't close any trades early or doubt myself or do anything like that. It was maybe one trade might have got a little nerve-wracking, because I think it was on Friday. I took the trade I got was a tad nerve-wracking because I've already had a good trading with that stuff, and I felt like I was putting myself at an unnecessary risk taking one more trade and I didn't want to diminish any capital. But it wasn't really nerve-wracking. I managed my risk properly, and I was still going to be up on top of the week anyway. So I did good managing my emotions, journaled everything, and it was a really good week. So I think I'm fine-tuning. I want to continue this week, making sure I have good parameters for my stop losses and take profits. And of course, I'm going to make sure my risk to reward is on point and very accurate this week. It was sometimes that last week I had to adjust like right before the trade or like during the trade, like where I'm going to do my take profit at, because of just getting a second-hand analysis. That might have just been because I was probably rushing to the chart trying to get into a trade at one point, but it only happened once or twice, so I had to readjust what I was going to do with my targets, basically. And that's just because I wanted to go for a smaller range and be a little more aggressive with my approach, we'll say, not as much laid back and being cautious, just being more aggressive, trying to get in and out of the market quicker. So that's why I went for those smaller ranges, and it paid off last week. So I want to try to continue at least going with that approach this week when it makes sense. And then number 3, I always check the news and economic calendar for this upcoming week. This upcoming week is not NFP, so it shouldn't be too much news this week, but let's check. So yeah, I just checked my FX book for news, or at least for the weekly news, and I need to refilter. I'm not sure why it's all those other news aspects. I just do NASDAQ, so I just worry about the USD news. and I mostly only worry about the high impact news. So let's see, I should refilter that as well, but mostly okay. So Monday we're pretty good on news. There's low news. Tuesday it's low news too. This won't really affect the market or move any crazy spikes or wicks or anything. Wednesday we do have some high impact news at 10, so maybe I'll be a little cautious about trading on this time frame. Give it like a 30-minute window, maybe an hour window before I take a trade. If I'm going to trade in that time frame, just hesitate a little bit. Thursday as well, but this right here is pre-market, so it might not really affect my actual trading day of New York session that much. And this one's 8:30 as well too, with GDP growth. This could probably be a weird big spike up or big spike down, and then it will be playing off the rest of that for probably the rest of New York session. So either we'll be catching continuations or reversals, but we'll see what the market's giving us. Then Friday, a little more pre-New York session news right there, 8:30 as well. So that'd be another one of those days where it spikes up early in the morning, spikes up or down, and then you will just be playing off of it for the rest of the day, either be catching continuations or reversals from that. So it shouldn't be too crazy. We're trading week. Nothing's like no crazy high impact news at like 10 o'clock besides, I think, Tuesday. It said, yeah, no crazy high impact news except for Wednesday actually. And nothing you see like 12 or 2 o'clock or anything crazy, because next week, the week after this upcoming week is NFP, so that'll be the more crazy week for news at least. So it should be pretty straightforward and clean to trade this week. So let's move on to step number 4, analyze the higher time. So I trade on the 15-minute mostly for my directional bias, and now I'm doing 30-minute a little bit, but most of the 15 minutes the bigger time frame for me. And looking at the daily, that's the time frame I go up for my higher time frame bias, the one I would usually go up, like the 1 or 2 clicks I would usually go up. So looking at this week, I did delete it off. I'll remark it up. So I was looking at last week for a price to eventually pull back into this imbalance here, and it did on Thursday. So that successfully happened. I knew it would mitigate that. So at this point, I'm looking at, I don't have it marked up here, but I am looking at some overall buy positions based off of this accumulation, this manipulation, this distribution to the upside here, and it mitigated this imbalance and pushing it up still. I'm looking at one, I also have one marked up, I believe, here as well. So overall, I'm looking for a price to still push to the upside. So I think it would be ideal if price were to come here and then just shoot up to the upside. But we'll see. It doesn't have to. It could definitely come down and sweep this liquidity here, sweep some liquidity here, and it could continue to push down and grab all these lows here as well, like all of this. This is an easy trend on liquidity here as well. It could just sweep all of this, push down for, it could just push down for the next week or two and see what happens, and then reverse back to the upside. It kind of depends. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of high impact news the week after this week, so this easily could be a lot of wicks and stuff. Like a day like this could happen, sweep this liquidity and then reverse back to the upside like it did these following days. But we'll see. It also could just start to push to the upside now that it's mitigated this imbalance and this order block here. So we'll see what happens with it. I'm not seeing any interesting areas that haven't been mitigated so far in the recently, so it might just push down, sweep some more liquidity to collect orders for the upside, because this was an all-time high here, so it might just push down a little more and sweep that liquidity. So I think that's pretty much it for the higher time frame for now. Overall, I am looking for it to push up higher. I don't think we'll be seeing that necessarily like in the first half of this week. No, so maybe like it'll probably push down a little more, consolidate a little more here, and then push up maybe by Wednesday. But it also could just continue pushing down, be a bearish week for the week. So we'll see what happens. So I think that's pretty much it for the higher time frame. I'm not expecting nothing too crazy or a certain area. We'll just see if these lows get swept. So going back to the lower time frame, let's move to step 5. So write your weekly goals. So my weekly goals this week, I've already written it down. I just want to be consistent with how I'm applying my strategy and system, because I did refine how I traded, and it's been really, I think I've seen really good results this last week and a half, and with my backtesting, I've seen really good results. So I just want to be consistent with that. And the only minor goal I would say is I really want to try out how trading in the Asian session will look for me at least with how I'm trading now. Because I did it last week, like I mentioned earlier, and it was really good, really good success actually, pretty good results, and it was smaller like volume moves, but they were still really clean, valid moves. So that's my other goal: to try out Asian session and journal those results, and just get more data for myself and in my journal, and see how I'm liking it, and continue to refine, and or just continue to see how this current refinement is going, and just continue to be consistent with it. So step number 6 would be write affirmations. Of course, I have my affirmations here. Like, I am a consistent and profitable trader. I have faith and desire in my trading ability, and I'm a disciplined trader who follows my system fully. Those are just 3 that I created myself. You can create any other affirmations you want to. You don't have to. You can put them in your trading view. You can write them in your own journal. You can type them on a Word document. You can write them on, put a sticky note on your desk. I have a sticky note on my desk as well. I have reminders in my phone that send me those affirmations. You can do a lot of different things to get those affirmations. So just find what works for you and just stick with that. And then I would say 7 for this is for people who mostly trade different assets. Build your weekly watch list. So I only trade NASDAQ, so it'll be easy for me to build my watch list. I could set like things like an alarm here whenever it sweeps this liquidity, because maybe I'll wake up from tomorrow in London session will have swept this liquidity, so that'll be interesting to see. Okay, maybe I can finally find a buy move to push it up to the upside. But I would also say I'm mostly interested in it pushing up to this supply zone up here, so I want to set a alert there, and I'll go to the 30 minute just to get it a little more cleaner, and or I should say clearer, we'll say. And we'll say I'm looking for it to also mitigate either this order block and potentially this imbalance, or just maybe this order block. Because this order block formed first, or it would reach the order block first, I should say. And it could, come up here, give a decent sell move. I don't think it would give a sell move that will push down continuously, but we'll see. It should give some reaction, maybe a quick good trade. So we'll see what happens. Looking for it to push up through this area at least sometime during this week. Probably looks better even on the 1 hour time frame, but I think it would at least reach this 30 minute order block. So I'm looking for it to return here, or on the daily just sweep this liquidity. We'll see what happens. Might be able to find even more, another order block on the lower time frame, actually, the daily, or the 15 minute based on that daily. Let's see. Actually, this is around it, so this is going to be really tight, but probably right here. Really tight to see, but this area right here, there's a break of this swing low, and we see it break above the upside, and then it leaves a little bit of imbalance here, so this will be the interesting part here. So maybe it'll reach this area, so maybe I've changed my alert to not just sweeping this liquidity, but pushing down to mitigate this imbalance here. And it is interesting because there's a lot of liquidity above this imbalance area, so it could easily sweep this liquidity as well, then push down to mitigate this and this order block. That's how it looks on 30 minute. Let's see. So on 30 minute, probably use this as your order block that's mitigated, but on 15 minute, it's probably like down here. So back to the 15. So I could easily say, let's just make it, make it like this for the order block. But we'll see. We'll see if one of these which one gets mitigated first. And it's gonna be a long. I might just do a ray actually, just so I can see it for depiction purposes. Let's see. So that'll be my watch list. I'm looking at one of those to get filled initially. Maybe tomorrow after London session, or during London session, and maybe a New York session. It'll give us an entry in one of these time frames. And then 8, just review your pre-trade checklist. Make sure everything's right. You understand your full system going into it. So I've reviewed mine. My checklist will be to essentially wait on the 15 or 30 minute time frame for a swing low or swing high to get swept, or swept I should say. Swing low or swing high to be swept, and then breaks down to the other side. It breaks that swing lower high like this did. It swept this liquidity here. then broke this swing low, swing high, and then it left some imbalance and formed some opposite side order blocks. So this is a bearish order block that it formed and left this imbalance. So I'm essentially waiting for this to just come back and be mitigated, then go down to a lower time frame. Look for the AMD model and one of the, essentially I would say hopefully one of the macro time frames, but it doesn't have to be the macro time frame for me. But that's essentially what I'm looking for. And yeah, it's mostly, I mean, it's just based off of the past week and a half or so of trades, the same way I've been doing those trades. So if you're curious, go look at those trade breakdowns. Look at those. I posted one on Friday. Go look at that one. It's for the whole week of last week, and I posted a few during the week, last week as well, and the week before. So go check that out. And I'll probably wrap the video up here. Don't want to make it too long. So yeah, let's have a good trading week, and I'll see you guys next video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and check out more content.